What's up, James? It's going pretty good. Probably gonna do a short stream today. Like, very short stream. 2 hours or something like that. Some rough. I need to start doing these shorter streams to actually start getting stuff done. I need to stop trying to just try to do 6 to 12-hour streams. I need to actually start putting in more, I guess, smaller amounts of time instead of trying to get. I feel like that's also another downfall of the amount of time I've been doing on this project. One of the bad habits that I've had. What's up, Jack? So I think the total amount when I finish is around 2,500. It might be close to 3,000, but I really don't know. I could go with 2,750, but that seems like a very odd number to go with. I did do shorter streams a long time ago, but I just started doing I started grinding bigger streams, and I got in the habit of doing, or like, I would say I got kind of spoiled with the longer streams, so now I'm more like, doing the shorter streams. I'd say I got a bit spoiled with the shorter streams, but, I mean with the longer streams. Not gonna lie. I can't really say how long I've been doing this project for, though. It's hard for me to say. I'm pretty sure it's over 3,000 hours, though, because, like, I don't know, actually. I mean, I think it's 3,000 hours if you count for literally everything on this project. If you count the breaks, if you account for the breaks, if you account for the things, the unintentional breaks. If you account for mining the ore. I think if you account for literally everything, it might be around 3,000 hours. I don't know, honestly. It's not nearly as much as people think. I mean, I guess into one thing it is, but in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't. Especially when you stretch it over 4 years. It'd be different if I poured 3,000 hours into this, or around, I guess 2,500 to 3,000. I don't know. In a year, that'd be pretty insane. But the fact that this was stretched over 4 years, it's really not that crazy of a number. when you really consider everything. It's actually pretty climbable for almost anybody to do. It's just, are you willing to hold on to it? That's really the big challenge here. Are you willing to hold on to this project long enough to finish it? That's pretty much the real question here. It's not even difficulty, either. This project isn't difficult. It's just literally, are you willing to hold on to it to finish it? Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it is still 2 hours a day, but like, I'd say it's even less actually. If you're I think that's, what is that? Is that the 3,000 hour calculation? Or is it 2,500 hours? I mean, it's less. I've probably put less than 1,000 hours per year on this, which, I mean, isn't too bad. I mean, most people. No, to be fair though, when it comes to what people really put their time into, it's still pretty crazy just because it's like most people usually don't put their time. I'd say the average person, I don't like saying average person, but I'd say for the most part, the majority of people really just don't put really any time into one thing. It's more like they just happen to sometimes put a lot of stuff into one thing. They just don't actually try to put a lot into one thing. It sounds a bit weird, but which I don't really blame them. I mean, most people usually want it just for the experience. I don't really care anything else for that. So it's like, if you want the experience, getting an experience of something doesn't take long at all. It's literally, I don't know, you can spend less than an hour on most things to get the experience of something, unless it's like a movie. Something like that. Just in the grand scheme of things, it really is. Most people usually just don't focus on one thing. Now, I'm not saying that I'm like telling anybody to spend 3,000 hours onto one thing. I have not seen Multiverse of Madness. I very rarely watch movies. Like, well, I can remember the last time I watched a movie, but before that, I can't remember when I actually watched a movie. Like, actually from start to finish, watching a movie on my own, from my own will. I can't really remember. Been pretty busy anyway with other things. I barely even have time to. Oh god, I barely have enough time to do this project. It's like, I barely have enough time to do this, and I barely have enough time to, do anything other than this. Which I know movies don't take that long, so I mean, it's not like that big of a deal. It's like, what, 90 minutes most of the time? But even then, it's still... trying to allocate my time better. For example, sleep. I think I kind of overslept today, though. I would totally have to admit, I think I overslept. Which I guess is better than undersleeping from my own experience. It's not, I don't think it's any healthier, but it's still good progress. At least I fell asleep at a decent time. Which I don't know if it was a good thing, though, of me waking up this late. Because from what I've learned is the best way to fix your sleep schedule is, waking up early at the same time. So, like, I don't know if that was actually a good thing. Like, I don't know if it actually influenced my sleep schedule, but I mean, whatever. Some creative name. It was actually a decent more water. There's a little bit more water than I expected there to be. What I remember. I may not actually finish placing this in today. I mean, it's possible, but probably not likely, but I mean, I don't know. I use the up arrow on the D-pad. Pick block. Apparently I can't play sand today. Messing it up. So I had a few ideas, or maybe not really project ideas, but it's like about this. One thing I can try to do is try to do some form of world download. I don't know what I'll do, but I mean, whatever. The only thing I could think about doing is not really even a world download, but somehow have like a session on this world and have people join or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of weird at first when you think about it, or kind of boring at first, but I mean, I don't know. What's up, Vera? Few things I thought about doing, maybe some form of like custom biome or something like that I could make. I could try to turn the overworld into in the nether, then turn the nether into the overworld or something like that. That'd be kind of weird. And then turning the into something else. I don't know. Can't really think of anything else really for projects. Custom biome. I could make a custom chunk with like completely new blocks and stuff like that. So most people make biomes with just the top layers, but imagine if you made a biome where you actually completely custom made the stone, completely custom made the ores and resources underneath. Most people just focus on the grass and the trees, but other than that, I really don't have much of an idea to do. Have much of an idea to actually try to. I don't really have any plans. What's up, McInnes? What's up, Hyper Mystic? Yeah, I kind of stream at really odd times. I'm not very consistent with my streams, which, to be fair, I've been pretty busy, so it's like, I can't really be very consistent with my streams. I don't know how people are so consistent with their streams. Like, how do people somehow manage to have, like, perfect weekly stream schedules? It's kind of crazy. Like, they literally plan out their entire week to the number of hour. So, for example, like, playing a game specifically at, like, 2 p.m. or something like that. It's like, how do you plan that? I mean, like, I guess it is just a plan, though. It's not really, like, objectively, like, going to happen, but still. Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty short stream, though. It's literally only gonna last, like, 2 hours total. Which I guess is fine, honestly. I mean, I used to only do 2-hour streams, so it's like, I need to get back into doing those. I I don't know, my life may get a little bit busier in a couple months, but just a little bit less busier. Hopefully. Shouldn't be as crazy it is after this summer. Should chill out for at least 6 months, I would say, which would be so nice. I haven't recorded any Java. I thought about playing Java, I just don't know what I want to do in Java or any part of Minecraft after this project. I really don't know. I may just end this channel on a high note whenever I finish Dimensional Massacre. I guess they could also be extremely lenient with their, like, scheduling, or extremely, like, lenient with their streams as well. Like, how much they stream. So, like, example, if you stream for 6 hours, there's more of a risk of something happening versus if you only stream for, like, 2 hours or something like that. What'd you learn? Number 3? How do you even remember? For like hundreds of thousands of years. I think even with with the TNT machines and the world eaters, or whatever, just the world eaters actually. Um, it'd still take thousands of years. There technically, I think there is a way to mine the entire world with TNT machines or world eaters. Like there might be a strategy. If you had enough people span across the entire world or something like that, but I really don't know if the game can handle that. Yeah, that way's so slow. I'm not doing it like that again. This way's so much faster. Actually, give me a second. Holy Christ. Yeah, I don't know about that. So, it's theoretically possible. You'd have to have literally over 100,000 people on the server. And you'd have to do a 33 chunk next to people have to be spaced around a 33 chunk wide next to each other. So it'd be one person, 33 chunks next to that person would be another person, 33 chunks, and you have to keep doing that over and over again. You'd have to build a TNT, you'd have to literally create a giant world eater spanning across the entire world, but you'd have to, yeah, I don't know, that's just, you'd have to get 100,000 people at a given time, which I don't know how feasible that is. I guess I could see how many people I could rally up, that would be interesting. Would anybody do something like that, though? I'd have to pull a Pippin and get, like, literally the entire Minecraft community to work on a project. Pretty much just talking about how it could theoretically be possible to mine an entire Java world. I think it is theoretically possible in a given amount of time. The problem is you'd have enough people to have knowledge over world eaters, and you'd have to deal with griefing, which would be a problem. Um, and you'd have to figure out if it's even possible in the first place, but I'm pretty sure it might be. It might be possible. It'd still be a stretch and a half, though. Like, it would really be a stretch. So pretty much my plan to finish is around July. Sorry, about June-ish. Like, mid to late June. Probably July. I'm not gonna lie, this project will probably go to July. I'm gonna be genuinely shocked if I can get this done before July. That's gonna be still gonna be a stretch if I do though, because I've been very busy. I wouldn't say I even have a lot of time. I've just been allocating it to this project mainly. I mean, it's still not great. Like I mean, there were times where I've had a ton of free time, but recently I really haven't had that much time. So it's like I've had to use my time wisely, for the most part at least. I will try. There is no doubt on that one, because you gotta remember, I have to do this giant section, which will probably take over a month, almost minimum, and I have to do that small section on the edge. Hence why it's part 1, road to 100% part 1. Honestly, I really never get that bored, to be honest. Not saying that I don't, like, try to kill time by doing other things, like watching videos and stuff like that, or whatever, honestly. But I'd say for the most part, I really don't get bored with this. It's usually just motivation. How motivated am I to do this project? If I'm actually, I wouldn't say motivated. I'd say just more like how much time do I have? Because most motivation is literally just expectation, managing expectation. If you can manage expectation properly, you'll probably have some good motivation. But if you don't manage it properly, then you'll probably have bad expectation or bad motivation, or just not, just a low motivation. What's up, Demon Ritos? So pretty much I just have just, you know, Respiration 3 and it's in peaceful. That's pretty much it. So it never runs out. Yeah, I've done it. I've done it a few times. It's usually in the lava. Because honestly, that's like the main threat in this world is the lava when I get to those lower levels. Because it's pretty easy to die with into lava when you don't have a chestplate on, you just have an elytra on. already be done with the big section of water. And I'll be almost already done with the water, and we're gonna almost start sponging. It's kind of crazy. It's been a while since I've had this little amount of water in a section. Too bad it doesn't happen very often, though. It's kind of weird, though, because I've actually always thought about, like, water sections actually don't take that much longer than land sections. People say it's like 50%, but I think it's actually less, depending on how you do it. Yeah. And do mind you, 4 years is kind of a odd stretch. It's like more like 4.5 years. Just because of, actually it's a pretty close to 4.5 years. And do mind you, I mean, I've been pretty consistent with it. It's just, it's still not crazy amounts of time, surprisingly. Yeah, I just focused a lot of time into this, or I won't say a lot of time, I basically took some of my free time and just focused into this. That's literally what I would say to describe how much time I put into this over the course of 4 years. It's like you just take, for example, if you take something random like scrolling through social media or something like that, if you just took all that time and focused it into this, I'd say that's almost the equivalent. Just in general, I'd say the average person. Just focused all that time into this project. That's over the 4-year period, though, which is probably the more insane part of this. It's the fact that I was able to hold on to this for 4 years straight. Over 4 years. While being consistent in it at the same time. That's the difficult part. Because you could do something for a year, but if you only work on it for like 2 months out of the year, then are you really doing it for a year? For example, like the person, Sword King 090, the original person who did this project, he's been doing this for, it's almost been 10 years since he started his project, and it's been over a year since he's actually done any progress on his project. So, yeah, that's just a good example of, like, you could have a project for a long time, but it's like, if you really don't make any progress on it, then are you really doing it for that period amount of time? I would say if you took all my break time and just condensed it down, it'd be over 6 months of breaks. If not almost a year of breaks. 6 months to a year worth of breaks. Months. Like the months, if you accumulated all the months total, it'd be at least a minimum of 6 months worth of breaks. Not total, like, well, not at one time. It was more like, do the project for like 8 to 9 to 10 months straight, and then do it, take a month break, or something like that, if I had to do something, work or whatever. And then keep doing that over and over again. Pretty much, that's the equivalent of how I kind of did this project. Sometimes. I try to do it, I mean, there was a time where I spent like 2 weeks without streaming, recently, if you look at my recent videos. But, because I've been, at least this section, I've been, especially this section actually, mainly this last half of the world, I've been doing everything on stream. But, it sometimes depends, because I have a full-time job I've had for like a year and a half now. And I've been trying to base this project around that schedule, which is still kind of difficult, not gonna lie, but like the only day I really can't stream is Sunday, because I work a double. It's pretty much It's not impossible for me to stream. I technically could stream. If I got off early, like really early, um, that day, or something like that. I could stream for like 2 hours at night or something like that, but I mean, that's the best I could do. What's up, Nick? I'm gonna be doing the nether at the end. So, I wouldn't say I have a consistent amount of time I do this per day. Some weeks I have no time to do it. Some weeks I have over 30 hours in some cases. It's very rare, though, that I have over 30 hours. Extremely rare. It used to be less rare, but now it's gotten more and more rare the further I've gotten into whatever I was doing. I feel like I've just gotten busier and busier recently. Hopefully that will change when I move in the next couple months. What's up, untitled figure? God, here we go again. Back to the cake or death. Not getting into that loop again. Because I already know where it goes. They just get more and more extreme. Or no, so they get less and less extreme. It gets weird after a while. Sounds super weird when you think about it, like just listing all those names. Imagine that out of context, it would be really odd. What are you doing to make it 1 terabyte in size? I mean, there was Fig, the person who went to the world border. When he calculated his gigabytes, it was like 600 gigabytes to walk to the world border. But yeah, commands would help a ton, or something like that. Did not know that. Why am I not surprised that Jupiter is twice as big as every other planet, even Saturn? Actually, I'm kind of surprised by that one. Just a little bit. I forgot that Jupiter is literally twice as big as Saturn. chunk loading. I think that's how Fig got over 600 gigabytes in this world border world. Sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty insane to think about, actually. Not really surprised by that one. I never knew how big the Minecraft world was, but honestly that really does put it into more perspective. Like, I knew it was a giant world, but still, even then. It's still pretty insane. I don't know about that one. That's pretty crazy, actually, to think about. Took that long just to, even with commands. Days just with commands. I don't know how long that Titanic actually is. Isn't it like almost 4 hours or something like that? Or am I going crazy? I forgot what the oldest person was. Aren't they like 122 or something like that? Or like the oldest person ever to live? Even though you know, there are stories about people living way higher than 122, even though there's no actual... I don't think there's actually documented evidence of it, though. I think the most generally accepted, that I know of, generally accepted, oldest person ever, to ever exist is 122 or something like that. It's kind of crazy to think about, actually. Imagine being 60 years old and only being halfway through your life. That's kind of insane. Yeah, I've heard that before. Heard of that before. How short human history actually is versus like the history of the universe. I mean, human history is what, like 200,000 years or something like that at most. The universe is 13.7 billion or something like that. What's up, I don't know how to say that. Shiki? So this is a classic size world on the Legacy version. The old size is a quarter of this. Actually, it's not even a quarter. It's like a tenth of this world in terms of volume. This is a classic size world. Old size is 260. I think it's 256 by 256, and a classic world is 862 by 862, which technically isn't correct, but I'm going with it anyway, honestly, because I don't want to make it too complicated. You just like copy the description. There's something else I need to add as well to the description, that is how the 100%, the road to 100% works. I put it in the update video, but I never actually put it in the streams, which is kind of ironic, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, this is totally have all the answers. It's kind of funny though, because I'm technically not mining 47 million though. That's a oddly specific fact, or oddly specific, yeah, just oddly specific fact, or factoid. I don't really know. What do you mean low? You mean just it's just quiet? I mean, I can turn it up a little bit. Hopefully that's better. Alright, the difficult part of placing the sand is done, I think. Okay, never mind, it's not. Forgot about this area. Even then, this still isn't that much water, to be fair. Majority of it's done. I'm not just gonna scream into the mic. Is it really that quiet though? I've never heard anybody say anything about it. Because I've never heard anybody talk about how quiet the mic is. Until you mentioned it. Not much of a comment for that one. Yes, I actually did know that. Surprisingly, because his original name was Yeshua, which is a Hebrew name. That if you translate it to English, is that? What's up, Arvis? Look at that, actually I should drink some more water. I'm also talking really quiet as well. A mini ecosystem. It's pretty interesting, actually. I feel like I'm gonna reminisce a lot when whenever I finish the project. I'm gonna reminisce a lot on the older update videos. Even, and once I finish Dimensional Massacre, I think I'm gonna reminisce a lot on the channel. I'm still gonna comment. Oddly enough, even if I, like, leave making content, I'm still gonna look on the channel for new comments and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm gonna be gone. I'm just not gonna be making any content on the channel. Unless somebody just randomly gives me a good idea, which is still not gonna be very easy, but it is technically possible for me to return. It's just very unlikely I'll actually return. Honestly, I probably will break down. Probably just implode once I finish. That's the only reaction I can think about that actually makes sense. Because it's like, there's no, well, I mean, it depends actually at the same time. Because there's no, like, suspense, so it's not like I'm gonna explode. Unless, like, unless the tension is so high in the chat, it just kind of forces me. But I think I'm most likely just gonna implode on myself. Would they really have wait, what would they have donated? Do they realize they could just donate more than once? Also, if they actually did, god dang it, Sword, why would you do super chats? I don't see the point in super chats. Streamlabs is always a better option. The only thing super chat does better is the fact that it's in the chat. itself. That's the only thing that's good about it. Other than that, there's literally no other point in using it. Does he know of me? Is that what? I wonder how much they would have actually donated. If it was capped at 500 and they were still gonna donate more, that's kind of crazy. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be $1,000 or something like that. Wouldn't be surprised. Oh yeah, Code 3. I remember that dude would spend hundreds of dollars on swords. Channel. It's like, holy Jesus, dude. That guy would just throw out $100. That person would just casually throw out $100 randomly. Almost every stream. It's like, dude, how? I've only tuned in a few streams, but still, I always see that person donating every time I join in. Either I got oddly lucky in seeing that person donate constantly, or they literally did donate like almost every stream. Oh yeah, I heard about that, being a cop. I remember that. I forgot who mentioned it. I think Sword King said something about it, or somebody said it in the comment section. Oops, I'm glad I stopped putting sand there. What about death by cake? How's that even possible, actually? Unless you literally just joke on it. Such an odd thing to do is enchant. It would be so odd if that actually was a thing in this game. You could enchant a sponge. Imagine if you could combine sponges together. Like a denser sponge that would get rid of more water. Oh yeah, I remember that. I wish I could have done that. I don't know why I wasn't able to do that. Wasn't it because of how his world generated or something like that? I don't actually remember. I mean, it looked fairly efficient for the most part. It looked more efficient than his just placing sand only. Not sponging. Obviously, sponging's far more efficient, but still. I think Sword King is aware of this project. The only reason I know that is because I stopped by one of his streams and he gave me like a mini shout out. He is aware of this project. I don't know if he's aware. I don't know if he's aware of how close I am to finishing though. I don't think he's really been keeping up with the project, but I know he knows about it at least. At the minimum. I'm not gonna lie, his world kind of seems like a pain to get rid of just because of that snow. Honestly, in his case, I would do 2 layers at a time for mining. I would not do 1. Unless, like, I'm at the lava area, then I'd have to do 1, but still, even then, I would do 2 layers most of the time. But he does those odd staircases just to get rid of boredom, literally. If I remember correctly, that's the only reason he did those staircases. There's also that as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looked pretty cool. I just, like, I think it's pretty obvious to see the progress in the project. I feel like that would make it, mining it really annoying. I'm not gonna lie, that would make that project way far more annoying. Creating a staircase. But the thing is, this project's so big, of course you're not gonna really understand the progress, or it's gonna be hard to see the progress because it's such a minute amount. Um, just such a minute amount of progress per time. Like every time you mine a layer, you won't see it until later on. I mean, why do you oh god, there's a reason why I did the section by section thing as progress. I didn't want to make each layer as progress, except for the Y level. But that's why I did it section by section in this way. I don't know. Okay, if Sword King wants to, how is Sword King gonna do? If Sword King can barely handle, here's a real question. If Sword King can barely handle one edge of the world, a 50 by 862 area, how is he gonna handle a quarter of the world at a time? That's the real question here. Because remember his plan, he was gonna do edges of the world, and then he was gonna do the middle of the world, and then he was gonna do the quarters in the middle. I don't know how he was gonna handle that. If he could barely handle one section, how is he gonna do a section that's like 3 times the amount or whatever in the middle of the world? Also, the only reason I stuttered earlier because I was trying to think of something. I need to actually probably think all the way through what I'm trying to say instead of trying to like spit something while thinking about it. It's kind of annoying. Oh well, it's fine. Should probably think it through a little bit more. Be a little bit more fluid with the way I talk sometimes. Which is kind of interesting actually, because I remember Sword King, oddly enough, had this similar way of talking when he, in his older videos. Very similar. I can't wait to see all the comments about me using... Can't wait to see all the comments about me, about not using, World Eaters, or TNT dupers. Can't wait to see it. It's gonna be so many. Good thing is a lot of the like negative comments, the comments that really don't make much sense or just don't have enough information, they make assumptions based on this project on what they exactly see instead of actually like digging for more information. Yep, that's basically my channel for the most part. At least when I blew up. I mean, they weren't as common as I expected them to be, but still. Hopefully, when I blow up again, which I'm fairly certain I will when I get to the very end, like part 2 of 100% or whatever. Very good chance of it. There's gonna be, less of those comments because a lot of people have already seen this channel at least, so it shouldn't be that bad at least. There's still gonna be a lot because I don't know how big this channel will actually get when I finish, or even when I about to finish. I don't know. I will never really know how big this channel will get until I finish, but I mean, never really know where it'll go. Alright, it's fine. There's probably a lot more people that lurk than I think there is. Also, I'm going to be ending the stream in around 35 minutes or so. Pretty short stream, but I mean, it's fine. I think I have most of the water done, fortunately. surprised I'm actually going through an entire shulker box for this. Pretty surprised, actually. It's funny I'm going back to this now. Back to the 2019. This might be enough. up Genji. Yes, this won't take long at all though, to be honest. I might finish the place in this end today, I don't know, I only have like 30 minutes left, so there's a small chance, but I mean, there's still somewhat of a chance. It really just depends on when I finish this, this massive section of water, at least for this section. It's pretty massive. I'd say overall it's not that big though. Especially for what I've had to get rid of in the past. What's up, John? Oh yeah, saw the title. Like, yes, totally original. I mean, I don't blame you though, titles are very difficult though. Yeah, I actually noticed that whenever, like, as soon as the game ended, I noticed I was at power percent. It's kind of funny. It's like, god dang, of course I was. Use Photoshop. Just get Photoshop. Unless you already have it. You should probably watch. Oh god, you probably should have watched when I was making the thumbnail on the, for the update video. I mean, the first thing you need is an idea. Like, what do you really want for the thumbnail? If you have an idea, then it's easier to try messing around with it. Okay, I'll probably may figure out something tomorrow, maybe. You can also look up a video on it as well. I don't know if you've already done that or not, but look up like Photoshop basics or something like that. Let me tell you, it's far easier to use than Premiere. Just in general. I mean, I guess unless you're making something super complex, then Photoshop could be more difficult, but you can say the same thing for Premiere as well, but I don't know. It's just, at least from what I've noticed, it's way easier to control Photoshop versus Premiere. I'm not gonna lie, there's certain things I don't even know what Photoshop does. I just know the basics. And that's all I really need to know is the basics for my stuff. I mean, do you know how to add text? At least? You click the T icon on the left, and then you could just click on the photo. Honestly, I literally would just say, just click on each function and see what it does. Or you could even just look up each function, what it does. That's what I would suggest. Just go to each function and then just figure out what each thing does. Over time, you should figure it out. It's probably my best advice. I can't really help too much. It's almost already 2:30, so... Yeah, there's some good crazy comments. Yeah, that's pretty much where you could add enchantments to sponges, which sounds so odd to think about. That'd be such an interesting concept, though. Imagine if you could make it where you increase the amount of radius the sponge soaks up. Seems oddly unnecessary, but kind of cool at the same time. I wish there was a faster way to get rid of water. Starting to regret not putting all those putting all that sand in the sugar box, because I thought I'd have enough, but I don't think I really will actually. I think I heavily underestimated how much water is actually in this area. Just this area right here. Oh yeah, sponge with Unbreaking 3. You get to sponge 4 times longer technically. So you can sponge it and the sponge won't get wet until like on average 4 times you place a sponge down or something like that. Hopefully this is the last time I actually underestimate how much water there actually is in this section, in A section, because it will literally be the last time I underestimate how much water. In this case. I'm glad this section isn't like a giant deep ocean or something like that. That'd be so sad to have to get through that just to get to the final section. Or just to clear the final section. Or the, I guess the prequel to the final section or something like that. You know, people are probably gonna think this is actually the final section when it's actually not technically the final section. Wait, what do you mean you miss 63%? Why? Oh, never mind. Yeah, I know why. I was figuring out, I was like, I forgot. Yeah, that's your favorite number. $60%. What is that? That was 25 million, I think. 25, 28 million? No, it has to be 28 or 30 million. I don't know which one it was. It was probably some random point in 28 million to 30 million or something like that. I know 50% was 23 million. Oh yeah, it was almost exactly 28 million, I'm pretty sure. This is 25 million, which is like 56%, then add like 6.25% or whatever weird percentage that each section is. And you get roughly 63%. So it's, if you want to figure it out, it's like 20, it's around 28 million. Actually, it might literally be 28 million. Like 28 million actually might be roughly 63% of the entire world. Pretty close to it, I think. It's pretty close. I mean, remember 50% is 23 million. 50% is around 23 million. 25 million is roughly 56%. And then 28 million is roughly 62%, but if you account for the extra percentage that each of the sections give, because it's not exactly 6%, you get roughly 53%, or sorry, 63. Which, I don't know how long that was actually ago. That was a while back. Was that like over a year and a half or something like that ago? It's kind of crazy to think about. I think it's even crazier thinking about this section. This last quarter is going to take over a year, which is actually shocking. I thought this quarter was literally going to take less than 6 months, but it's been over 9 months, which is crazy. It's 0.59%. Yeah, it's pretty close, I would say. It's probably about as close as you're gonna get, if you don't want to go insane trying to calculate it. That is. Okay, I'm gonna be ending the stream actually very soon. Maybe after, even after this, this line right here. A line of sand, or column of sand, or whatever, however the heck you want to call it. Maybe. Depends on how short this column is, but... Okay, yeah, no, it's probably gonna be after this column. Okay, so it's technically 47 million, but I'm technically only mining 45 million of it, because of the bedrock layers. Because bedrock layer takes up roughly 2 million of the world, so... Give me a second. Alright, there we go. I'm just gonna mention that I think 30 million was 69% of the entire world mined out. Pretty close to it, at least. A rough estimate. Alright. I'm gonna go in the stream now. Since it's already 240. Alright, I'll see you guys later.